me now, General Sir Mike Jackson, former Chief of the General Staff, and Wada Kanfa, the former Director General of the Al Jazeera Network. Wada, you're a skeptic of military action to deal with ISIS. What is the tool that you would use? What would you do?
I would advise that there will be some kind of multi-level approach. This is a complicated conflict that has just not only started. This conflict has been there for a long time. ISIS is a production of a reality, of a social and political betrayal that I think, in my opinion, the Western society in particular, the international society, has let down those who have been calling for freedom. And we have been watching hundreds of thousands of people murdered after also the path for actual reform and political reform in the Arab world was blocked when we accepted that a coup in Egypt could destroy that kind of great march for freedom and democracy. And then we have this ISIS. We need to deal with ISIS. Okay, if we are going to deal with it militarily, we have the rebels, we have the Free Syrian Army who have been there, and we have not allowed them to progress because we were very careful not to give them weapons, right. And we were watching Bashar al-Assad murdering his nation.
In a sentence, what do you do? What do you actually do about ISIS? I hear all the things we might have done wrong.
Okay, give the Free Syrian Army, give the people on the ground weapons to fight the battle, plus give them a counter-narrative. ISIS has been thriving on this kind of reality which is very dark and grim, and the feeling of victimization and oppression. Give people a new hope that we could march towards a future, towards normal life without the international society keeping indifferent to the suffering of the public and allowing ISIS to thrive on this narrative that they have been preaching.
So Mike Jackson, words, which is a counter-narrative, and weapons to the Free Syrian Army.
It's not just about Syria, though, is it? I mean, Syria is clearly a focus of what's going on, but the influence of ISIS spreads much further, and there is the regional problem. And then there is the rather more international problem that's shown by the desperate events in Paris. I don't believe you can negotiate with these people. It's not on offer.
So it's military, basically?
Not exclusively, but there has to be a military dimension, because it seems to be the only language that they understand. I take no pleasure in saying that, but that is what I have concluded.
Again, ISIS is there, and even if we destroy now ISIS, and that could be done by the people of the region, in my opinion, that would be a serious situation, that if the reasons for the creation of ISIS are not eliminated, another ISIS
you get another
will
one,
be born.
like you had Al-Qaeda before you had ISIS.
Well, that's why I say the military is but one dimension.
So look, can I get you both to agree? Can we both agree, as one of the people said in the Allegra's film, you have to have a political strategy, and with a political strategy, there may be a case for some kind of military strategy. Do you agree with that?
I said there are two narratives, two counter-narratives. One counter-narrative in the region where we give people hope that we could reach some kind of normal life. People are sick and tired of blood. We have seen explosions and death by hundreds of thousands in the region. Definitely the public in the Arab world and in Iraq and Syria and everywhere else, they are sick and tired of this also. But they would like to be embraced. They would like to be encouraged to further towards democracy. You know, the word democracy has been eliminated from the Western discourse during the last 2-3 years. No one speaks about democracy in the Arab world. We allowed dictatorship to come back, and now we are destroying ISIS while we are not providing people with a new narrative and a new hope for the future.
There may be an argument over what the political strategy is, but I think you both agreed, and I'm going to hold you to it, that a political strategy is necessary.
Let us go back to Clausewitz, the great philosopher on war, where he made it very clear that the use of force is politics by another means. It has to be within a political envelope.
So, Mike, can I just ask you what difference you think this debate in Britain is going to make to the outcome? Because what I'm hearing, is an argument that is about the West, really. What percentage difference do you think British involvement in the Syrian conflict, military involvement, would make to it? I mean,
in military terms, we are not crucial. I mean, I accept that entirely.
I mean, not crucial, but are we even significant?
Politically, it matters a great deal.
Does it?
I believe so. And here we are. Here's agreement. I pick up on the involvement of the regional powers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Not just the West.
Yeah. And what do you think Britain is significant? I mean, because we've been talking about it on this programme. Are we just deluded to think that we are a kind of player in this, or are we a player in this?
Britain is significant. The voice of Britain is significant, but significant when it is in the right direction. What he said, the regional, I mean, there was an offer, regardless if it was 100% accurate or not, by Turkey, for example, to have a free zone. And that was offered to us like 6-7 months ago, and no one bothered to negotiate or to talk about. Now, the solution was there, for example, but we really felt for a moment that this conflict could continue without us being affected. Now we realize that blood in the region will never stay in the region, and it could spill over to the entire world.
So Mike, thanks both very much.
And air power alone is not enough.
Thank you very much.